Welcome to Conscious Living Collective, where transformation is not just a concept, but first-hand experience. My name is Tomek. I'm a scientist, teacher, and transformation coach. In this live session, we blend the latest in the scientific research, the wisdom of mindfulness, and the art of fulfilled living. I always create those sessions to give you an opportunity to have your own first-hand experience, to rewrite your story, and to emerge with a renewed sense of purpose and well-being. Welcome to Wednesday/Tuesday evening session of Conscious Living Collective. Welcome. Today, last session on self-actualization. We will be discussing peak experiences, which is in a sense, culmination of self-actualized person, in a sense that we get a direct access to what it means and how it feels to be a fulfilled, transformed person. For those of you who are joining for the first time, feel free to go back to my YouTube channel when I post or when I stream all the sessions of Conscious Living Collective and explore the previous sessions when we discussed the whole theory of self-actualization according to Abraham Maslow, who presented us with this very complete, wonderful framework to give us guidelines on how to live fulfilled, empowered, and actualized, which means aware life. But before we jump into topic, I want to extend my warmest regards to all my wonderful patrons. Hello, Anne. Hello, Seth. Hello, Parvane. Very good to see you here. Thank you so much for your presence and your support. Also, I see a family of faces. Hello, Tosca. Hello. Is Joan here? No, Joan is not here today. Not yet, just. So I just want to start with asking if the connection is okay, because according to my screen, the connection is poor. So just maybe in the future, if you see that the connection is dropping or the quality of the sound is deteriorating, please let me know in the comment section. I'll be very much appreciated. So I want to share a few things about my peak experiences that I experienced throughout my life, which are not so many. And maybe I think it is important to define what a peak experience is. And the best way I came up with, it's my personal definition of it, is if you do not remember having peak experience, or if you wonder what was your peak experience, it wasn't it. Peak experience are the moments of absolute profound transformation, where there's no a shred of a doubt that you experiencing something extraordinary. And that can be, most of them are very much spontaneous. You are not preparing for them in any shape or form. They just happen. And as they happen, the ego subsides. You are at peace. You are no longer doubting yourself. You are just certain of what is happening in the moment and right here and right now. And these are moments of complete fulfillment, as if all the pieces of a jigsaw come to a place and you feel in the right place, in the right now. And according to Abraham Maslow, these moments are very important because they create a reference point towards for people who are on the path to self-actualization, which is living your life as consciously, with as much awareness as possible, being your own person, being appreciating and knowing what your inner values are. Again, refer to my previous episodes of Conscious Living Collective, if we're talking about these things in details. And the path of self-actualization leads you to that very fulfilled life. And peak experiences are nuggets where, once again, things come into place. And I think many people, including me, I must say, go into meditation with a hope that they discover or have experiences or stumble upon something that is outside of the normal, ordinary living. And I just want to say right here at the start, and I want to share my experience with regards to this topic. This can be be a trap sometimes, because once you have a peak experience, it is very easy from the perspective of your ego to chase more of those experiences. Okay? Why wouldn't you? It felt so good. Finally, everything seemed right. You experience no fear. Your clarity is there. You feel fulfilled. No longer there's no missing pieces. All is as it's supposed to be. And I'm saying it's a trap because it happened to me. I vividly remember at the beginning of my meditation journey when I won't lie to you, I was looking at meditation as an escape from all my daily troubles, from my anxiety, from my struggle with, if you remember, writing my Ph.D. thesis. And all of a sudden, as a beginner luck usually happens, I had absolutely phenomenal experiences. Back then, I was meditating in a lying down position. I was very motivated. Again, I was looking for something to distract me from my present life situations, and I found it. All of a sudden, back then, I was using centering prayer. I was focusing on the on the beat of my heart, and I remember being uplifted in those moments of stillness, as if something was waking up with me. Surges of energy were passing through my body. It was very exhilarating, was very uplifting. Something very important happened there. And obviously, I did not understand what that is. I have kind of better understanding what it was, at what happened at that time. But because I didn't know what it was, I was definitely wanting to reproduce it. So I was getting into every single meditation with a hope or intention of getting back to that space where just energy surges through my body, and I'm getting into state. It's really difficult to describe in words, as peak experiences are. They're very difficult to describe. You can vividly remember what happened in that moment, but to reproduce it within the sensations of your body, it's quite difficult, and I would even say impossible, on demand, so to speak. So that was the first example of a peak experience. And that was meditation induced, but not in a way that I expected it. I didn't know what to expect, and it happened. And when it happened, it was new, it was fresh, and it was different to anything that I experienced before. And that's, by definition, is what a peak experience is. Another one has happened, and that was before I started my meditation journey. It was years and years before I even considered leaving my home country, Poland. And I was coming back from work, traveling between the cities, between one of the cities, Katowice, and my hometown, Kraków. And I was simply driving, really going back home to my family to spend the weekend. And all of a sudden, I still remember going under the bridge nothing really prepared me for that. I experienced a profound sense of calmness and stillness. And I was just driving a car. And once again, what is common in peak experiences, everything fell into place. And all of a sudden, I recognized and started appreciating life as is. For lack of better words, it just felt perfect. And maybe another thing that I want to share about peak experiences, they are not dependent upon circumstances. So people have peak experiences both in nature, seeing a beautiful vista, or in absolutely mundane circumstances. In my case, was just driving car home on a weekend. Nothing really ordinary, nothing really extraordinary about those circumstances. So, and this is a very important point that Maslow tries to make about in the theory of self-actualization about peak experiences. We are not there to recreate some special circumstances. The circumstances are not important. What is important is the inner transformation. And that's what is at the heart of every path of self-actualized person. Is not changing the world around us, but changing the perspective that is the internal landscape, what comes out. So we are here at the end of the journey of the theory of self-actualizations. We're bringing all those aspects that we discover, starting with the basic needs that need to be fulfilled. And then going through creativity, through autonomy, which we discussed, going through awareness, and all the aspects of self-actualized people to arrive at the point where things are just all right, regardless of the circumstances. You can be mother, you can be father, you can be at any level of your professional career. You maybe in different socioeconomical circumstances, and yet you arrive where everything is just all right. So now you may ask me, who wouldn't want to live there? And I think from the perspective of the conditioned personality, that pursuit of the peak experiences can be and is a trap. That is the reason for most of the addictions, if you think about it. And why I'm talking about addictions from the perspective of peak experiences and Maslow's theory of self-actualization. Because addictions are this absolutely, the addictions, it's a representation of the very deep need of experiencing the clarity, the calmness, the things as they're supposed to be. That's why I really like what Gabor Mate, an expert on addiction, how he frames addictions. Addictions are response at the correct, however, not very well composed response to the circumstances as the life presents them. It's not really our fault. It comes from the good place. However, the result it's not the result that we're hoping for. It's never there. So we cannot go into peak experiences by desiring it more and more. We cannot go to have that fulfillment by thinking about it. It's a first-hand experience. And another now passed away researcher of peak experiences, Mihai Csikszentmihalyi, who coined the term of the flow or the zone that is very much related to the topic of peak experience, described that they happen spontaneously, but certainly there are things that we can do in order to be more prone to have peak experiences. Even though we cannot force them to happen, We we certainly can make them. As I like to use the scientific term, we can increase the probability of them happening. And I think you understand that meditation, it's certainly in mindfulness, it's one of very important tools in order to make that happen. And as a matter of fact, I will encourage you to and walk hopefully into our meditation period, which will happen in a couple of minutes, with that intention of having a profound experience. And I think there's nothing wrong with having an intention of having a profound experience every time you sit to the meditation period. But it's also important to manage your expectations. And knowing that you are not going there to have peak experience, you are going there with intention to increase the probability or the chances of having this experience. And in order to do it, we have to deal, first of all, with our mind. And you know for a fact that it's not easy to deal with your overthinking. It's not easy to simply say, I don't want to have any thoughts. That will happen. But the chances, if we come with the inspiration of having peak experiences, you are much more motivated to deal with your thought. And you will be, as I am going into meditation, when I know now that rejecting my thoughts or resisting my thoughts, it's not a good pathway. You know that the more you relax into reality of the present moment, the more you increase chances of good things, for lack of better words. Let me just decrease the level from peak experience to just feeling good. You increase that chances. And this is very important because according to Maslow theory, we are not trying to change the external life once again. We are trying to come into working terms with the reality as is. And Maslow is very, very clear. The experiences that we are hoping for are there regardless of the external circumstances. This is it. Life can be wonderful and beautiful right here in this very moment. This is perhaps something that not only Maslow, but all the spiritual teachers try to teach you, which is a lesson that is very hard to take by your ego. If I hear one more time that everything I always needed is already here, I'm going to punch someone. It's very, very disturbing from the perspective of your ego to understand that. That's why my invitation to you is not that of a talk, but by living it, by having your first-hand direct experience. The only way to have peak experience. Nobody ever had experience through listening to someone talking or trying to intellectually understand the topic. That is an experiential, very cerebral experience of life as is, not life as your ego or structured personality want it to be. And using Moody's term for that, it's peak experience is not a good lesson to learn, but it's a discovery to have. So what I am inviting you today to is, in the spirit of self-actualization, discovering who you really are and acknowledging yourself, your completeness with the physical, emotional, psychological, and spiritual self, bringing all those elements together, acknowledging all the things that your personality or your ego accepts and those that your ego does not accept, bringing them together and sitting with them quietly and see for yourself what will come up. Understanding that the fact that maybe you're not the richest person, the fact that you're maybe not the most beautiful person, not the wealthiest person, not, I don't know, so and so, has nothing to do with your ability of experiencing or having a fulfilled, beautiful life. So maybe I'm going to stop here and ask you, any of you, do you remember any of what I just described? Can you remember the time in your life where things just fell into place? Can you share? Is there anyone who can share their own peak experiences and how they were transformed? And this is the important part of having a peak experience. It's a transformative experience. Do you remember this experience through which you've been transformed and you did not look back at your life in the same way? I'd be curious to know. And once again, as you gather your thoughts and put things into comment section, I just want to welcome those of you who joined us a bit later. I can see Diane here. Hello, Diane. I can see Sandy. I can see Anne, Parvane. What else I see here? Hello, Nola. Good to see you here. Maggie says cycling. Maggie, can you elaborate on that? When does it happen all the time, or do you remember in a particular time when you were cycling when things fell into place? Okay, so it was one particular time with your team. So you were not alone then. Okay, it happened in team. And okay. And how do you look at, do you seek to reproduce that experience, or has happened only once, or has it happened more than once? Anne says, it seems that the transformation for me was the loss of ego and the acute realization of our common humanity. Yes, thank you, Anne. This is a very apt description of actually self-actualized person, the realizing the humanity of things and looking at things that are ordinary with extraordinary eyes. Okay? I think Carl Jung said it's not about finding new horizons, but discovering new eyes. So that's very, very well said. Mag, it happened also skiing. Oh, hello, Jan. Dzień dobry. It's a Polish greeting for good morning. So anyway, peak experiences are a very personal thing. So I understand that not all of you want to share them here, or you might, I don't know, you might not have them. This is not something that happen all the time to everyone. That's why they are so special. But nevertheless, this is something, again, according to Maslow, that is important, and it is important to keep at the back of your mind that there is always a possibility to discovering and having moments of tranquility where all things fall into place. And maybe rather than talking about it, I want to invite you to meditation, where you might not have, and it's unlikely that you will have peak experience. But at least now, knowing that this is a possibility, you'll be able to relax more into the actual meditation where you experience all the things as they are. And this is maybe one of the most important lessons. We are not trying to change our life in some special way. And I'm sure that your ego has much to say about what those special circumstances would be, but this is not about special external circumstances. This is about relaxing into reality of things as much as possible. And then you will see how things transform around you. This is maybe a good description of what we are going for. We are going for relaxation around the existing structure. And as Anne beautifully put it, to recognize the humanity in every experience that happens around you. Because if in every ordinary, and ordinary I mean from the perspective of your conditioned personality, every experience becomes an opportunity to live fulfilled life, then every moment all of a sudden being a invitation to experience that fulfillment is not just from one peak experience to another, but all of a sudden, and I think Rupert Spira, another wonderful spiritual teacher, describes that for him, pretty much every moment when he's aware is a time and opportunity to feel fulfilled. And that's why he says after so many years of practice, he self-actualized and realized that every moment is already fulfilled. But he discovered that for himself. And I think this is the invitation for me, for you, from me to you today, to discover it, what it means to you, and see where that's going to take you. As I say, that's a hard question. I think when I relinquished old addictions, I began to see the world differently. I experienced a real cognitive shift. Thank you, Seth. Yes, so this is it. I just want to maybe emphasize that point for all of us who are addicted to various things, and I think we all are, because we are all actually seeking fulfilled, complete life. We are, and there's nothing wrong with that. What might be hindering us is to approaching it from angles, again, that addictions invite us to, that are never going to take us. And I think that's the definition of addiction. It comes from the right place, wanting to have fulfilled and wonderful life. But unfortunately, all of the addictions, the definition of it, they are the tactics that will never get us. They will offer only a substitute, but not the real thing. And I think the diamond approach is another one that I am personally being attracted to, because it offers the real thing as opposed to the substitute. So addictions offer a substitute, not the real deal. They offer just a glimpse into it without getting the real thing. But we are going according to theory of self-actualization and the diamond approach and many different esoteric and spiritual teachings, we are going here for the real thing. So let's just do that. And as always, I want us to be supported by some wonderful music. And today I will play you Piano Meditation by Chris Collins. If you listen to any of my guided meditations, you know that I'm using Chris Collins' music a lot. And he's one of our Inside Timer musicians, and I love his music. Piano Meditation by Chris Collins. I'm just going to play it right now for you. So, in the spirit of what we just said, let us begin this meditation exactly as we are. Let us recognize the present circumstances as an opportunity to be fulfilled. And we know that fulfillment will never come from a limited ego personality. Not that there is anything wrong with the ego. Simply, ego has its limits. An ego is designed to function mostly in the physical realm, is bounded by 5 physical senses, and cannot go beyond very often the limits of that understanding of reality. And as a result, they'll be always wanting. Does not matter how much we acquired, there's always more from the perspective of the ego. However, as we shift into awareness, we realize that we are already fulfilled. And to do so, I want to invite you to see with your eyes closed where your awareness takes you. You might find that the first step is the inner experience, the experience of your inner sensations of your body. And in conjunction with the sensations, you may be drawn to those unpleasant ones, and a tightness and a congestion, discomfort perhaps. And this time, rather than trying to fight it, I encourage you to recognize it for what it is. A simple bundle of sensations that in themselves are not good or bad, but they simply are. And if you are courageous enough, if you are patient enough, and you stay in awareness with these sensations, you may find that they shift and move. Or to be more precise, your awareness shifts and moves. And your job right now is simply to follow the awareness from one place to another, wherever this may be. It may be one of the physical senses, your feet on the floor, your hands in your lap, any inner body sensations. or it may be a thinking process. It's very common that your awareness goes into thinking, since we are all so well trained in the art of overthinking. So let's go there together, knowing that you are supported, you are safe. And most importantly, your capacity to experience anything and everything right now in this very moment. Keeping your awareness here and now. Even with your thoughts, they may refer to the past or to the future, but from the perspective of your awareness, they are happening right now. You connect with them right now. So if your mind is particularly active right now, stay with it. See for yourself that your awareness is not your thoughts. Your awareness simply connects with thought patterns and then moves to something else. And by following the path of your awareness, you learn more about nature of the reality. And the experience is already fulfilled. It's not good or bad, it simply is. You do not need special circumstances to be fulfilled. Any circumstances are already fulfilled in your awareness. Experience already is fulfilled. It is what it is. And the judgment that may appear does not come from awareness, but it is a part of a description that your mind produces right now. So acknowledge your mind if that happens, and at the same time recognize that your mind is only a part of this picture. It is one way of experiencing, but not the entire way, does not form the entirety of the picture. So now that you are somewhat more equipped to explore and discover the immediate reality of here and now, I give you a minute or two to explore on your own as I stand by your side to support you, to make sure that you are safe. to return, gather your experiences, knowing that they shed new light on your understanding of who you are, what you are, and the nature of reality. Know that you made an important step towards self-actualization. You intentionally took a path of growth. However difficult this path could be of the past couple of minutes. This is a move into right direction. Give yourself a gentle pat on the shoulder for the courage, for the effort that you made. Know that you can come back to this space to further explore the nature of the reality, the nature of the self, anytime. Right now, I'll ask you to begin reconnecting with your physical senses that connect you with the physicality of things. Start with your vision, being aware of brighter and darker spots in front of your closed eyes. Connect with the sound, including sound of my voice, sound of the music, taste and smell, that even in the absence of any smells and tastes are still there. And finally, touch, as understood by the boundaries of your physical body that connect you with the external space. Easing into the physical reality, physical space around you, the room, objects, and everything else that includes the material world. And now to fully come back, simply take one deep breath in through your nose and out through your mouth. And when ready, open your eyes and welcome back. Welcome back from the meditation. Thank you so much for meditating with me. It was a very interesting journey, as always. Good to meditate with you all. Thank you so much for holding the space for me. Thank you for your presence. How was it for you? What did you discover? Feel free to use one or two words to describe what you brought with you during what you experienced during this meditation, what you brought with you from it. For me, it was definitely a understanding of reality. It's always so refreshing, and the freshness appreciation of what is, according to Maslow, is one of the important aspects of our daily living, the life of self-actualized people, to appreciate the present moment. And meditation without the miss offers that freshness of appreciation of something that from the perspective of the mind, to me, is simply an ordinary presence, is nothing really extraordinary from it. But again, that's only from the perspective of the mind. From the perspective of the awareness, it's very fulfilling, it's very gratifying to just close your eyes and recognize the life as is without judgment. Again, now that's what you're going to hear from most of the mindfulness teachers. No judgment within the meditation space. But again, that's a discovery that you have to do on your own. And when you do it, your life becomes much easier. Parvana says, likewise, deep journey for me because I was able to quiet my mind. Thank you, Diane. Thank you for the journey. I'm glad you enjoy my guidance. So we are here to have first-hand experience, and I hope that you have experience that contributes in a positive way to the understanding of what is happening in your life, even if it's a small contribution. And now the journey continues. So, thank you. I came in partway, but feel peaceful and present, Jamie says. I'm very happy to hear that. And I want to thank you first of all, for your presence. And I also want to thank you for your support, or your continuous support that you offer by coming here to Conscious Living Collective, by listening to my meditations, to listening to my courses, and even some of you I know that are here to have one-on-one sessions with me. That's always wonderful. Another opportunity to fast track your growth and transformation. That's always something special. And I want to invite you already right now to our next session that will be on Monday/Sunday to those of you who are in the US. And I'll be talking about happiness, the word that I have a very difficult relationship with. That's why I'll be talking about the hidden costs of happiness and what they are on my personal journey, what the science says about the concept of happiness, and most importantly, how we can apply those lessons to be more fulfilled, to make our life more of what we want it to be, more falling into place, getting on those puzzles together. Maggie says, would like to catch up on the other classes. They all are on my YouTube channel. So feel free to just type my name in YouTube and you'll find me without the miss. Alan, Sandy says, Alan Watts says, the quieter we become, the more we hear. This is exactly, those sages have always wonderful words to describe very accurately what we all need to do. And I think since I'm not as wise as they are, I need many more words to describe the very thing that you, Sandy, or Alan Watts said so precisely. Thank you, Anne. It's always good to see you here and always good to meditate with you. Thank you, Seth. Good to see you here. Thank you, Tosca. Thank you all for this wonderful and other wonderful experiences. I'll leave you with Chris Collins and his piano meditation. And I look forward to meditating with you and connecting with you next time. See you.